The Senate Foreign Relations Committee will come to order. This hearing of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, the subject is the AI revolution. I look forward to our testimony from our witnesses. As I think most members know, our leadership, including with Senator Young, have been busy setting up a college for us to learn AI. We appreciate it very much. We're getting continuing Senate credits for our attendance at the AI conferences. So thank you, Senator Young, for your leadership in putting that together. This is this is just another opportunity for the role that the Foreign Relations Committee will play in regards to what is our appropriate policies as it relates to AI. The AI revolution is going to change economics, it's going to change societies, it's going to change the entire world. That means it's also going to change the way we do diplomacy. Today's advanced AI models are 5 billion times more powerful than just a decade ago. That's 5 billion times. The kind of technology growth is unlike anything humans have ever invented. And we are still just at the early stages of AI revolution. It has the potential to usher in unpredictable, complicated challenges, like empowering digital authoritarianism, or spreading bias and disinformation, or locking us into a spiraling AI race against our adversaries. At the same time, the AI revolution will bring about positive possibilities unseen in human history, predicting the outbreak of war, improving harvests to solve food security, curing deadly diseases, unlocking green energy. So I want to thank our witnesses for appearing before us today. I know you and your team face challenges. Preparing the world to responsibly harness and deploy AI will be difficult. Preparing the Department of State for the future won't be easy either. I want to thank you for the accomplishments you have advanced so far and for the heroic efforts that you're engaging in. Your dedication and commitment in serving our nation is appreciated. Your teams include some of the sharpest minds in our government. That is why I want to challenge you to do even more. Thus far, much of the discussions around AI is centered around the military and private sector. But making money or making war is too narrow of an approach for the AI revolution. We need to proceed with an AI agenda that is wrapped in American values. That is why I think the State Department is not only crucial to this effort, the State Department must be a leader in global AI governance efforts. The State Department has valuable data. That data has not always been well organized or used to its fullest potential. This includes real-time information from embassies and diplomats stationed around the world. It includes the UN voting records. It includes environmental and economic trends. This is highly valuable information. We know how much we are trying to gather information today and how valuable that is for the private sector. State needs to unlock the insights from this novel data, and you have the workforce to do just that. The department has concentrated of public servants who have with advanced degrees and go beyond foreign policy. Your data science experts are going to be vital in this effort. Our diplomats also must be involved as we manage our AI competition with nations like China and Russia. Diplomats know how to take on complex and multifaceted problems. They know how to balance competing ideas when making policy. And most importantly, American diplomats know how to drive an agenda based on American values. Values that need to be part of the AI revolution. Values that protect people's privacy. Values that lead to democratic elections, respect for human rights, and peace and security for people around the world. If we're going to lead on global AI governance, if we're going to avoid dangerous AI arms race, if we're going to harness AI to improve the lives of people on this planet, the State Department must be in the lead. It cannot be left to generals without diplomats. I believe Congress and this committee in particular must play a central role in guiding America's AI efforts. I hope you will share your thoughts on how you think Congress can accomplish that. Now recognize our distinguished ranking member, Senator Risch.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The ongoing wars in Europe and the Middle East are reminders of the threats and instability that define the era of strategic competition in which we live. Amidst the images of chaos and destruction splashed across the headlines, yet another competition is arising. New advances in AI will transform the way we live, do business, and interact with the world. These advances also have significant implications for our foreign policy and, importantly, national security. The United States and our allies must lead the world in developing the transformational technologies and the standards that govern them. That will shape the future. If harnessed appropriately, AI-driven algorithms can provide the State Department with real-time data and insights. This includes everything from how effective policies are in different parts of the world to which IT vulnerabilities are most likely to be exploited by an adversary, to which overseas staffing models are most efficient and effective in meeting the department's needs. We must also prepare for the ways our adversaries like Russia, Iran, and particularly China are trying to use AI. AI-powered cyber attacks could overwhelm our defenses by rapidly identifying our vulnerabilities and exploiting them. AI-driven information operations could target government officials or certain segments of the public and confuse, distract, or paralyze the decision-making process. AI-enabled battlefield management systems could give our adversaries a decisive advantage in targeting U.S. forces and striking key weak points. Since AI and machine learning rely on accurate data to work correctly, our adversaries could also deliberately manipulate or corrupt publicly available databases to ensure predictive models or analytics used by the U.S. government don't work properly during a crisis. To respond to both the opportunities and the threats posed by new AI-driven technologies, the State Department should focus on two areas, and I hope our witnesses will be able to talk more about those today. First, we need to work with our allies to set the standards that will govern how AI is used around the world. We need to collaborate on research in key areas and identify the specific national security sensitive technologies that adversaries like China will try to steal or copy, and thereafter develop tougher standards to answer, tougher safeguards to answer those issues. Ambassador Fick, Congress established the Bureau of Cyberspace and Digital Policy, which you lead, in part to spearhead this type of engagement with allies. I look forward to hearing more from you about the work you're doing in this area. I would also like to hear your insights into how AI could transform the cyber threat landscape and what you're doing about that. Second, we need a workforce that not only understands how data and AI and machine learning work, but also how to integrate these tools into their daily work. I'm pleased to see the department begin to pursue a data-driven approach to diplomacy because it has the potential to improve our foreign policy. Using all the information available to make national security decisions is a crucial part in getting to the right answer. Data-driven diplomacy also helps counteract groupthink within the department, which limits options and stifles critical thinking. But data-driven diplomacy can't just be a talking point. The department has to truly commit to integrating data into the policymaking process and changing course if necessary when it receives objective feedback that a policy or procedure simply isn't working. The State Department's Center for Data Analytics was established to better integrate data analysis and expertise into foreign policy decision-making and to develop a workforce that possesses the skills needed to take advantage of these technologies. Dr. Gravis, I look forward to hearing more about the progress the Center for Analytics has made in expanding data access and utilization throughout the department. Any insights you have into challenges and obstacles that remain would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Risch. Which is most of the cases, our opening statements are very comparable and very similar. So thank you very much for your leadership here, and I look forward to working with you.
You're not suggesting we plagiarize.
No, I'm suggesting we might want to combine some of our staff and save some. No, I'm just. But it's always interesting to hear the opening statement from my colleague. We have two very distinguished witnesses today, Ambassador Fick and Dr. Gravis. I'm going to introduce both of you. Your full statements will be made part of our record. We would ask that you proceed in about 5 minutes so we have time for the members to ask questions and to have a discussion. So first, let me introduce Ambassador Fick, who currently leads the State Department's Bureau of Cyberspace and Digital Policy as the inaugural ambassador at large. Ambassador Fick has taken the reins at a critical moment for strengthening U.S. diplomatic efforts on cyber and digital issues, particularly the rapid development of AI technologies. Prior to his leadership of the CDB Bureau, Ambassador Fick had an extensive career in the private sector as technology executive and entrepreneur. He's also served as a Marine Corps infantry and reconnaissance officer, including combat tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. We thank you for your service to our country in so many different ways. Dr. Gravis has been the department's chief data officer since December 2020. He is recently selected to serve as the department's inaugural chief artificial intelligence officer in a dual-hatted capacity. This also comes at a critical moment as the executive branch agencies react to the development and deployment of artificial intelligence and other data analytical tools. Prior to his leadership of the Department's Center for Analytics, Dr. Gravis spent 13 years in leadership positions at the Department of Homeland Security, as well as his time in the private sector. He holds a master's degree in mechanical engineering from Texas A&M University and a doctorate in systems engineering from George Washington University. We'll start with Ambassador Fick.
Good morning, Chairman Cardin, Ranking Member Risch, distinguished members of the committee. On behalf of the Department of State, thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. And more broadly, thank you for your support over the 14 months I've been in this new role. I'm pleased to provide you today with an update on our work in the service of the United States international technology policy priorities, and will speak specifically to our efforts to strengthen U.S. global leadership to unlock the potentials of AI while also addressing its challenges. At the State Department, I oversee the organizations that lead and coordinate the department's work on cyberspace, digital policy, and emerging technologies. And there are two of them: the Bureau of Cyberspace and Digital Policy, known as CDP, and also the Office of the Special Envoy for Critical and Emerging Tech, STEC for short. Building on years of bipartisan work, Secretary of State Blinken established these organizations in partnership with Congress as part of a comprehensive effort to modernize American diplomacy and make technology central to U.S. foreign policy. He gave us a very clear mission: to shape the terms of the technology future and to extend America's industrial and innovation strategy into the international realm. Together, CDP and STEC, with our interagency partners, work to advance U.S. global leadership on topics such as trusted technologies in digital infrastructure, advanced wireless networks, quantum computing, biotechnology and synthetic biology, cloud services and data centers, undersea communications cables, satellite communications, and, yes, AI. We also work to build partners' cybersecurity capacity, to strengthen international technical standards, to advance global cyber stability and counter adversaries in cyberspace. And finally, we use technology to promote and protect human rights. An important distinction between my work and the work of my colleague appearing with me today, Dr. Gravis, is that my team focuses on leading U.S. diplomacy on technology topics with external international audiences, while Dr. Gravis's work is focused on AI deployment within the department. As someone who spent a decade building and leading a software business, and after a couple combat tours in the Marines, I do believe very fundamentally that responsible technology innovation is increasingly a foundational source of our geopolitical power. And over the past year, I've seen firsthand how these technologies are transforming every aspect of our societies, from how we work to how we learn to how we communicate, and they're transforming every aspect of our foreign policy. Many traditional measures of national strength, such as GDP or military capacity, are increasingly downstream of a nation's ability to innovate in these key technology areas. So put simply, in geopolitical competition terms, tech is increasingly the game. It's revolutionary, it's accelerating, and the United States must lead, engaging boldly on behalf of our values and our interests. As the President recently said, we stand at an inflection point in history. Nowhere is that more evident than with AI. The decisions that we make today about how we shape the parameters around AI will define the world in so many ways for decades to come. It's a responsibility that we must assume together with our private sector, with civil society, and with our international partners. American companies lead the world in AI innovation, and the United States has increasingly strong momentum domestically to lead in AI governance. The recent executive order on AI directs the most significant action any government anywhere in the world has ever taken on AI safety, security, and trust. And it is the natural next step after having first secured the voluntary commitments that were agreed to by leading AI companies. And the President's committed to working with Congress to craft bipartisan legislation to establish an enduring domestic policy framework. At the same time, we're working internationally with our closest partners to advance our shared views on AI policy. The G7, with strong U.S. leadership and engagement, just released an international code of conduct for AI developers, which draws heavily from the voluntary commitments. I attended the UK's AI Safety Summit 2 weeks ago at Bletchley Park, hallowed ground in the history of technology and national security, and we continue to work to advance shared approaches to AI with European partners through mechanisms including the US-EU Trade and Technology Council. Countries around the world realize that AI is now the foundational technology driving advances that can help solve some of our most pressing shared challenges in science, in energy, in agriculture, in education, and more. And my team's role is to engage with the world in these conversations, to synchronize multi-stakeholder approaches on governance, to harness the benefits of AI, to mitigate its risks, and to do so while always ensuring that our innovation ecosystem remains our North Star. We do this with three orienting principles in mind. First, it's essential for the United States to lead with an affirmative vision for the role of technology in our shared future. We believe in tech's power to accelerate innovation, to solve major global challenges, and to support our future prosperity. Our affirmative vision is reflected in both our engagements and also in our foreign assistance through programs such as AI Connect and other recently announced programs to leverage AI to help reduce poverty, to address energy needs, and to improve global public health. By committing resources to these programs, we were able to secure follow-on investments from the private sector that leveraged our commitment of $15 million, leveraged that commitment several times over to accelerate progress on the Sustainable Development Goals using AI. The U.S. is the world's leader in innovation, and if we don't champion the benefits of technology, who will? That's principle one. Second, we know we must do this work in partnership with others. International partnerships on everything from R&D investment to standards harmonization to regulatory interoperability are the policy underpinnings that are necessary in order to seize this moment. No one can do this alone. No one country, regardless of how big or powerful, no one company, regardless of how advanced. So over the past year, the State Department has been engaged constantly with our allies and with our partners, bilaterally and also in multilateral venues like the G7, the G20, the OECD, the United Nations, to achieve tangible commitments on the responsible development, deployment, and use of AI. And through the executive order, the U.S. is leading by example. We're providing a model for the responsible use of this critical technology in our own government, and we're committed to increasing participation in the AI voluntary commitments among leading companies, both in the United States and around the world. Third, we recognize that all of this is happening while a determined and well-resourced set of adversaries and competitors tirelessly advance a very different view of technology's role in our future. They are aggressively trying to reshape the international rules-based order and are investing heavily in a worldview that prioritizes authoritarian tactics over democratic values and governance. Technology governance, and specifically AI governance, is one of the geopolitical imperatives of our time. We need to lead international conversations to shape the global technology landscape of the future so that AI advances democratic values and human rights, protects our safety and our security, and supports our prosperity. When the United States pulls back, our adversaries fill that void. Technology with global impact requires global action. The State Department's delivering on the important work of technology diplomacy for the American people. So thank you again for the opportunity to join you today. I look forward to your questions and your